What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. Okay guys, so the video you're watching here is the man in front of this video is David Hundeyin, the man who revealed the drug trafficking document of Bola Tinubu. This man has come out to express his concern about what is going on in Niger and how the United States and the UK and France are trying to set fire in another man's country when their country is at peace. David Hundeyin is a popular journalist, a well-respected one at that, and so he has much and he has lots of valuable information to give to us. He is also talking about how Bola Ahmed Tinubu is liaising with France, UK in order to preserve his criminal documents, and that is why he is blocking his ears to everything that soon would sound like a negotiation for democracy. He wants to go to war so that he will please France and also please US so that they'll be able to hide his documents. This seems like a conspiracy. We finally come to see that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not listening to Nigerians. He's not paying attention to the pain of Nigerians. Rather, he is trying to please and appease the people he is indebted to. He's not indebted to the government, to the citizens of Nigeria. That is why he doesn't care about the hardship that is going on in Nigeria. All he wants is to do what the United States and France want from him in order to keep himself. That is what this video is about. But I want you to hear the more things from David Hundeyin by yourself. So I'm going to allow you to watch the video. After you finish watching the video, make sure to subscribe to this channel.
Times, we live in a time when it's become increasingly clear that certain countries, i.e. the US, are becoming more and more brazen about their willingness to basically set everyone else on fire to keep themselves warm. So in this case, it is increasingly evident. If you've read my story, if you watched my documentary, if you read the reporting by Kit Klarenberg of Grey Zone News, if you've read the court documents, if you've done your research, it becomes very clear that this person, who is supposedly sitting in Aso Rock as the president of Nigeria, isn't actually working for Nigeria. We essentially have a U.S. intelligence asset occupying the office of Nigeria's president, and the U.S. authorities are well aware of his history, of his past. I personally am involved in at least 2 legal processes as we speak, trying to force the U.S. authorities to make the contents of his FBI file public, because there is an FBI file on him, and we get tossed around a lot. Due to privacy concerns, we're not going to let you have this information. And it's like, well, this is the president of a sovereign country. So I think we're well past the point of invoking privacy concerns now, because the foreign policy decisions or the local policy decisions made by this guy potentially affect the lives of 200 million people, even more, as we're seeing now in the case of the war with Niger, which is determined to have potentially an entire quarter of Africa could be going up in flames, because we essentially have a president whom, first of all, was never qualified to run for that office, should never have been on that ballot, legally speaking, and most importantly, we did not vote for him. He did not win the election. And based on the data that the US government itself paid for, the polls that the US government itself, the pre-election polling and research the US government itself paid for, based on the reports that were put out by the EU Observer Commission, it's evident, it's visible to the blind and audible to the deaf, that not only did this guy not win the election, he wasn't even close. And yet, some of these powerful countries, shall we say, have simply decided that, look, we have foreign policy objectives, we have foreign policy goals, and one of these goals is, for whatever reason, to keep our thumb in West Africa. And the way to keep our thumb in West Africa is to ensure that whoever is in power in Nigeria is someone who is completely supine, completely pliable, someone who essentially can be blackmailed, because that's my reading of the situation. So essentially right now, Nigeria is sovereign in name, but we are essentially under some sort of foreign occupation. That's the way I see it, because the person who is wielding the powers of state as president is not working in the interest of the country. He's not working for us. We didn't put him there. We didn't vote for him. And he's not answering to us. He's answering to Paris. He's answering to DC, London to a lesser extent. He's answering to everyone except us, the 200 million people of Nigeria. So where does that leave us? I mean, who knows?